Okay, this is a video of my homemade broadhead honing jig. And if you look at it, it's just a couple of aluminum jaws, a handful of screws, and a caster off of something. Not sure what. The only thing I bought was the aluminum jaws, and these aluminum jaws came off of a tool called a hand seamer, and I got it at Harbor Freight for I think it was like 11 bucks. And the hand seamer uses these aluminum jaws attached to kind of like a pair of plier handles, and I believe it's for bending some kind of flashing or metal or something like that. I'm not sure, but when I saw it, I thought I could repurpose it for honing jig. So what I've got here is the aluminum jaws that I purchased, a large pan head screw, a couple other screws here. I've got a set screw, and then I put a piece of hardwood in the back there. The hardwood I put in, I think it's a piece of walnut, and I just sized that to be thick enough so that I could drill a hole in it to receive the caster. And for this caster, I filed a groove in the stud there, and that allows me to use this set screw to retain the caster in the jaws so it doesn't slide out. And because the groove is all the way around the stud, it allows me to spin the caster to one side when I hone one side of the broadhead, and then twist it to the other side when I want to hone the other side of the broadhead. So I'll go ahead and load up a broadhead now and kind of show you how it works. Okay, so I loaded up a broadhead, and this is a Ace Standard 145 grain. One modification that I forgot to tell you about, I did cut this this diagonal in it here, and that's I believe it's a 5 degree, whatever matches the ferrule of this broadhead. But at any rate, here it is. It's all mounted up. I put a couple little scratches in my jaws here so I know where to position my broadhead each time, and I've just basically got it buried up against this diagonal right here for the ferrule. That keeps it nice and tight. This is tightened down. It clamps the broadhead. So now that's going to give me about a 22 degree bevel on my sharpening. So what I would do next is, I've got a set of diamond stones here, and I would just effectively run it back and forth to get the grind on it that I want. Now, on this caster, this wheel is slightly rounded, and it's a little wobbly, which isn't a problem. In fact, it's a little bit of a benefit. Because this Ace broadhead has a convex profile to it, it's not a straight edge. If there was no wobble in that wheel, I would only hone in the center of the edge. But because that can rock a little on the rear, it allows me to rock a little on the blade too, so I can get the very tip and I can get the very rear of the edge. And so as I hone, I will rock it back and forth slightly just to make sure that I get out all the way out to the tip and all the way to the rear of the edge. And I'll blacken that with a Sharpie just to make sure that I'm catching all the edge that I want to. Now, once I get one side going and I've got a burr all the way across, I will flip the wheel around so that I get the same bevel angle on the opposite face of the broadhead. And then I'll go back and forth between coarse, medium, fine, and extra fine stones. And I'm just going to lube it up with a little Windex or whatever as I do each of those grits. So I'll do one side on coarse, the other side on coarse, and then I'll do one side on medium, the other side on medium, one side on fine, the other side on fine, extra fine, and then after I'm done with that, I'll unclamp it, flip it around to the other edge of the broadhead, both sides, of course. And then after that, I'll temporarily glue it up. I've got just a short cut off of a carbon arrow here with a tapered ferrule that I can just temporarily glue this on. And then I'll take it over to my strop it, put a little mineral oil on it, and then store it away for bow season. So anyway, for about $11 and a caster, you can probably find this at Harbor Freight too, or something very similar for a couple of bucks as well. Versus some of the commercially available that are going to be at least $30, if not $60, $70 for a broadhead honing jig. All right, hope this gives you an idea of something that you could do for your own.